Hey everybody, and welcome to what I'm calling my vacation live stream, uh, because that's what I'm on vacation. I've been on vacation since Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So I've been on vacation for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is my fifth day. It's about midway. I go back Friday. But I've been sick for all vacation. Today is the first day I actually feel normal. But I still got this hella fucking cough, man. I got this hell of a fucking cough. And like you can just hear it on my chest, right? Like I don't know. Can you guys hear that? So yeah, yesterday I felt good for like an hour. So I went up the road to GameStop, and the associate over there was trying to talk to me, and I had this like coughing fit, and I'm sitting there, like phlegm and like stuff just coming off my chest, and this guy trying to talk to me. I'm like, dude, I can't talk right now. I'm literally coughing my lungs up, and which is weird because I'm not a smoker, but I do work in a cooler, and so yeah, today's the first day I actually feel normal, other than the cough and then whatever's on my chest. So I was sitting there, I was watching Star Wars, which I pretty much done all week, was watch Star Wars Celebration on the YouTube channel live. And then I just got done watching the Mandalorian panel, and we didn't get no footage. Like us at home didn't get any footage. Like we didn't get a trailer or nothing. And I was like, well, what am I going to do a video on? My whole project today was to watch the panel and then do a video and breakdown of Mandalorian, but there wasn't really nothing to talk about unless you were there live. And comic book news somewhat has been dull lately. Like there's like, not even coherent, or not coherent, but it's like non-existent really. And I didn't go see Hellboy yet. I was supposed to go see that Thursday with a friend of mine, but I was so fucked up and sick I couldn't make it regardless. So, and I was supposed to go fishing with my dad a couple times, and I haven't had a chance to do that because I've just been sick. So basically what I'm trying to get to here is I had no plan for videos today. There was really no superhero comic book movie news, not big news. Like there's news like Jorah Mama from Game of Thrones is going to be playing Batman and Titans season 2. I mean, that would give me like maybe 1,000 views. The average person really don't care because Titans wasn't really good. So I try to stay, like I noticed, like stay away from TV news, Rob, because TV news people aren't going to click on. Unless you're something like Comic Book Cast 2, who's got over 500,000 subscribers, then 10% of those people will watch it, which means he would get at least like 10,000, 15,000 views on it. So it makes sense for him, not my channel though. Same thing with the whole Falcon Winter Soldier series that's been confirmed as a launch title for Disney Plus on November 12th or something like that. But that's not something that I'm going to get a lot of traction on my channel with. That's something like we can easily just talk in a live discussion. So anyway, I'm free for the next 3 hours. We can talk about, well, 2.5 hours. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. The channel is yours. Like I said, I had no plan. To talk about anything. So you guys can go ahead and start firing in questions. We can talk about anything and everything. You want to talk about Star Wars, we'll talk about Star Wars. You want to talk about superhero movies, we'll talk MCU, DCU, we'll talk about anything. And maybe a good talk, because if you notice I titled it Vacation Discussion. I couldn't even find a good like clickbait title to even come up with it. So maybe we'll have a good discussion. I can retitle it. All right, let me see if I can hit some of these. Gravel Lord Nick writes, you might want to mod my new account. I'm not using the old one. Is that Armadon? Armadon, you literally have my information. Why aren't you just texting me personally? So if that's you, I don't even know. Paradashi Dutt. Man, you guys are trying to kill brother. Do you think Star Wars Episode 9 hype can be... No. Look, guys. I cover superhero stuff here 100%. That's my mainstay on this channel. But I am... Don't make no fool. I am a die-hard Star Wars fan. I got a Luke Saber right over there in the corner. You go out in my living room, I have the entire Star Wars Rebels pop collection. I have 2 Last Jedi posters, an Episode 2 poster, Force Awakens poster. I have an Empire poster in my storage unit all wrapped up. I am a massive Star Wars fan. Before anything, before Avengers Endgame, before anything comic book related, I will always pick Star Wars first. But good one, Nick. But don't be fooled by my fandom. I'm not one of these people that but don't be fooled by my fandom of Star Wars. I'm not one of these people that look at their fandom and think that their fandom is the end-all be-all of fandom. You know what I mean? I'm not like someone who's a fan of the DCEU who's like, oh, Batman v Superman is going to beat the Avengers because I'm a Batman or because I'm a DC fan and I know everybody wants to see that. You know, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Really hyped for Episode 9. But don't let that shit fool you. Endgame is going to kick the living shit out of it. Kick the living fucking shit out of it. And that saddens me. If you would have told a 20-year-old Rob, I'm 35, if you go back 15 years ago, before the MCU even started, and you tell Rob, in a few years, you're going to get Star Wars Episodes 7 through 9, right? And there's going to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe. And by 2019, the Marvel Cinematic Universe will make more money than Star Wars. I'll be like, well, first of all, you're fucking crazy. We're not getting Episode 7. Secondly, did you guys see Daredevil? How are we going to get a Marvel Cinematic Universe? You guys see Spider-Man 3? I'll be like, there's no way it's going to make more money than Star Wars. Star Wars is the biggest money maker in Hollywood. Not anymore. Not anymore. And the reason why, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's just because Star Wars is overrated. Like OG Millie Mills here. Star Wars is so damn overrated. No, it's not. No, it's not. Hate to tell it to you, buddy, but you wouldn't have the MCU if it wasn't for Star Wars and George Lucas. I'm just telling you that right now. Star Wars was something special for kids. It allowed you to look up into the sky and want more. Had you dream what was out there, what could you do? And I loved it. I loved it a lot. Star Wars was sort of an escape for me as a kid, which was really weird because no one in my family likes Star Wars. My dad hates it. My mom hates it. My sister hates it. My brother, he's okay with it. He could take it or leave it, you know? For me, I don't know, just living, like, I lived in a poor family. My dad got a little rough sometimes. You know, I was disciplined quite a bit for stuff that I didn't even do sometimes. But regardless, I was always able to watch Star Wars. Star Wars was my escape. Star Wars allowed me to look at the universe and be like, well, how does this connect to this and this connects to this? And even though the prequels weren't the best, I love the prequels. I love the prequels. I was 16, 17 when Episode 1 came out. And I love the prequels. I really do. They have problems, sure, but I love them anyway. Same thing with the new trilogy. I love them. They have problems. But the reason why, and this is just me rambling because I'm just having fun with you guys rambling. But the reason why Endgame is just going to wipe the floor with Episode 9 is not because Episode 8 was diverse, you know, not because the fandom was split over Episode 8. Because Campia said it last week. He's like, if you're talking about hardcore fans, yes, it's split down the middle. A lot of the hardcore fans like it. A lot of the hardcore fans don't like it. But the average person that don't read the books, the average person who doesn't watch trailers online when it gets premiered, the average person that just goes and sees these movies just when they come out, you know, those are the people that like the movie. You know, that's why you can't make $1.3 billion and say no one liked the movie. You can't. You can't do that. That's a lot of repeat viewing. So, yes, maybe the average person, the average Star Wars fan or a hardcore fan, you know, maybe it's split down the middle for them. But the average person on the street, they like it. You know, they like it. And The problem with the MCU versus the Star Wars thing, and the reason why the MCU is going to kick Star Wars ass this year, is because where Kathleen Kennedy fumbled the football on the 1 yard line, Kevin Feige picked it up and ran 99 the other way. And what I mean by that football analogy is Kevin Feige is a fan of the MCU, of Marvel. He understands the source material. He understands that he's putting together a TV show with movies. Each movie is a 2-hour episode in this long series, and how even though they're standalone, they connect, so you can always get more out of the movies. Where Kathleen Kennedy is like, well, we're going to do a new trilogy. We don't have a fucking plan. Here, you guys come up with episode 7. Rian Johnson, you come up with episode 8. And everybody wants to bitch at Rian Johnson. Well, he fucked up episode 8. He was just continuing what JJ started. JJ the one to put Luke on a fucking island. JJ is the one that started all this, and everybody wants to blame Rian Johnson, but that's neither here nor there. To kind of get over the question, okay, I've been rambling about this for like 10 minutes now. I definitely think the MCU is gonna Endgame is gonna kill. Endgame is gonna hit over $2 billion. I see Episode 9 maybe hitting 1.3, 1.4, and that's what it is. It is what it is. So let's get to another question. Sleazy Dog writes, how do you feel about the Russo brothers saying they would like to come back for Secret Wars? Is that a legit conversation, though? I seen Comic Book Cast, his video popped up today, and it said Secret Wars, no secret, or something like that. I didn't click on the video. Sometimes his videos are repeats of old videos. Like, he'll come out with, like, a little title, and it make it sound like there's big news, and then before I even watch this video, I'll go on my resources and start checking my sources to see if anything come out, and then nothing's out, and then I'll click on his video, and it's a 2-minute video of him repeating something that he talked about in a video 2 months ago. So I seen his video, I just didn't click on it. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to go back and look at some of my archive video and just start re-talking about those topics. What else we got here? Let me see. Man. Marvel and DC Comics writes, MCU to use Deathlock, but not the one from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thoughts? I seen stuff on that, and you want to know what my thoughts on that is? You want to know my absolute thoughts on it? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Look, I'm a massive fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love me some fucking Sky, or Daisy, but I still call her Sky. I love Coulson. I love all those characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But we all knew from the beginning, even though they said they were connected, they weren't fucking connected, okay? We knew that from the fucking beginning. So, the fact that if this is true, they want to use Deathlock, they're going to go with a different Deathlock, it only makes sense. Look, I thought Deathlock was okay. He was in like the first 2 seasons, I believe. He was really prominent in the first season. I think he had a little. He was either the second or third. He came back for like an episode or something. But anyway, look, that's a TV actor. That is the definition of a TV actor. You're not going to bring that actor into the movie, and he looked bad. He looked bad as Deathlock. I'm like. It just didn't look good. And just like Mosey Gee here writes, yeah, there was like multiple Deathlocks, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's neither here nor there. Hey, Nick, if you want to get in on the conversation, I can load up Hangouts or something. I don't know. My fucking head is killing me. But anyway, okay, OG Millie Mills here. I see this guy, he writes comments on every video, so I actually appreciate that. You actually give me some comments in the comment section. He writes, do you think the MCU is dead after Endgame like these DCU fangirls say? Absolutely not, man. You close one door, another one opens. Not going to be the end. At all. Green Hedgehog writes, when do you think Disney Plus will come to the UK? I don't know. I don't live in the UK. I can't give you. I don't understand why. Why can't this all just launch together with everybody? I don't understand that. So, like at that point, you're literally asking for people to pirate shit, right? like if you're Disney, you know, like okay, like the DC Universe streaming app didn't launch in the UK. At least it's still not over there, as far as I know. All right, Nick's going to join me. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up Hangouts real quick. Hopefully the stream doesn't end. Usually when I try to do something... Hold on, guys. It's just I'm waiting to get Nick here. So we didn't we really didn't plan this out very well. So all right. Well, I got it up, Nick. Just let me know when you're in. But anyway, so what was I talking about? I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. Sorry, guys. I got a massive headache. I thought I was feeling like so much better, and I'm like literally not now. But, yeah. So, what are we doing here? OG Million Mills, dude, you gotta stop making fun of these people. They're allowed to like what they want, man. Marvel, DC, Star Wars fan, right? Do you think Rey is a Skywalker? Well, I don't think. I hope. I really do. I hope. I've been wanting... Hold on a second. Hold on one second, guys. I'm having a little technical difficulty. I'm trying to do like 100 different things here. But, hold on. I'm going to lose all my viewers here in a second. I'm down to what, 31? Everybody's like, banning shit, man, banning shit. Alright, let me get Nick in here. He's making this shit complicated for me. Hey. All right, so we're all in. Nick, say something so I see if you're coming over this thing. I can not hearing you on the thing, though. Oh, that's good. Okay, say something now.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Nick is live.
All right.
All right, yeah, I had the desktop audio muted. That's neither here nor there. I got a fucking massive headache now, but
You'll get over it.
I got 33 people watching. I just lost 20 people in this whole shenanigans. So, yeah. So, what's going on? So
what were you last talking about?
I don't even know. I lost train of thought. Sweetie Dog has your list for the best MCU films changed. In the pretty much the same films, just different order there, buddy. I got Infinity War on top. I got Winter Soldier at number 2 now, so those two flopped. I think I'm gonna add Captain Marvel in the top 10 somewhere, but she's probably gonna be sitting on the outside, not so much in the top 5. So, yeah. Here goes a good one. Killer writes, will Luke fight the Emperor in the afterlife? I fucking don't think so. I don't think so. Did you see the trailer?
That does not sound likely to me at all.
Did you see the trailer though, Nick?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think of it?
To be honest, it looked cheesy to me. The only thing I liked from it was Palpatine's laugh at the end.
Her jumping over the TIE interceptor looked cheesy. I got it. It looked like a bad Matrix imitation.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck they doing? But the funny thing was, because I was out when I was doing errands and stuff, paying bills, when I seen the trailer. And I had to do it live because it was important. And I heard Palpatine's laugh, but, I was watching it on the cell phone, so I couldn't see what was in the background till hours later that night. And I got home, I was like, oh, that's the fucking Death Star that's destroyed on a fucking planet. So that brings in a whole bunch of different fucking theories. So, but I just watched Jeremy John's video last night. I disagree with that guy 100% on this.
What do you say?
So, first of all, I love Jeremy Johns. Met the guy. He's awesome as hell. Love all of his reviews. 99% of the time, I agree with his reviews. But he said that he found out that Palpatine was in the movie and that scares him. And he's like, it doesn't even make sense. How can they bring Palpatine back? And he's like, don't you motherfuckers start writing about the books in here, because that doesn't count. I shouldn't have to read a book for this to make sense. That is not fair. That is not fair to say that to people. That is not fair to say that to people, that you don't have to read the books. The books aren't saying you have to read them. But
no, they can explain it in the movie.
Yeah, they can explain it in the movie. The books are just for hardcore fans that want a little more, So someone like me, I read the entire Chuck Wendig Aftermath trilogy years ago when it was released, and they clearly state inside those novels that Palpatine had plans. So I guarantee you J.J. Abrams is like, I'm thinking about bringing Palpatine back. He gets with like Pablo Hidalgo, who's in charge of the storyboards and stuff over there. And Pablo Hidalgo was like, well, in Aftermath, they talk about how possible he can come back. And then J.J. Abrams probably built a script around that. And then for Jeremy Johns to go, and it's hypocritical for Jeremy Johns because he's sitting there saying, I shouldn't have to read a book to get a full story. But he also is the same person that praises the Clone Wars. And the Clone Wars is an expansion of the prequels. So that's literally the same fucking thing as the novels.
Yeah, and isn't there like many novels based on like Palpatine's resurrection and cloning himself, like not just one?
In the old legend stuff, before Disney bought it, Palpatine has resurrected himself and cloned himself.
Yeah.
In the old Dark Horse comics and stuff. But when Disney, bought it, they scrapped all that because they want to make everything canon. Because back in the old days, there was like millions of stories and none of it was canon to the movies. But But in Aftermath, when Palpatine died, he had like a bunch of contingency plans, and he had an advisor named Yup Shu who would go to different planets, and he had like that's why Jakku is so important, is because on Jakku he had an observatory, and on the observatory he had like different relics and stuff, and his plan was to bring the entire empire to Jakku so he could destroy his own empire, because Palpatine believed if he would have died, the empire should have outlived the emperor, because the empire failed the emperor. So he wanted to destroy the empire so that the remains of the empire can go to the Outer Rim and rebuild. That's where the First Order came in, with General Hux's father being the leader of the First Order. So they went out to the Outer Rim because Palpatine kept getting visions and stuff of the Outer Rim, and that's where, or the Unknown Reaches, and that's where Snoke came from. So I think Snoke has a part in this somehow. I wouldn't be surprised if Snoke was some kind of Force user scientist that was planning on bringing Palpatine back in some way. But like, I don't understand. Like, and people are like, well, I don't like the fact that Palpatine's coming back. Fucking Harry Potter did it. It's like, hey, Voldemort's back. Boom. You know, and people didn't give two shits about that, you know? And it would make sense that Palpatine comes back in the final chapter because it's, you know, it's not just a Skywalker story. It's Palpatine's story, too. How he rises and falls, you know?
Mm-hmm. The only reason I bring that up is because, you know, to me, it doesn't make sense that he's like, oh, it sucks that you have to read a book to get everything. But it's like, we don't know if he's just following the canon books or maybe he took inspiration from one of the older books. Like, you really don't have to read the books. He could just be taking inspiration from anywhere.
From what I understand, the way the script process works at Lucasfilm is, say JJ has an idea, right? And JJ's like, you know, hey, back in like 1998, I read this comic where Palpatine came back together. He's like, I kind of want to do that. And then he'll write a script and give it to the storyboard team at Lucasfilm. And it's the storyboards team to make sure it all fits in the canon. So then they'll read over the script, and if there's like something that doesn't fit in the canon, they'll be like, well, you got to kind of change that because that doesn't fit in the canon. So,
that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, it's a great thing. So, where Jeremy John's like, you shouldn't have to read a book. You're absolutely right. You shouldn't. They're not telling you should. They're just saying, hey, if you want to get a little bit extra out of your material for those that actually invest their time, like I guarantee you, this Tuesday the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan book comes out this Tuesday.
Oh man.
When you read that, it's going to be something where, yes, you don't have to read, but I guarantee you when you read it, you're going to get much more out of episode 1 than you would have if you didn't read it. For instance, I just got done reading the Queen's Shadow, the Queen Amidala novel that came out 2 weeks ago. Man, it completely like changed how I felt about, like, I already love Padme, but it completely changed the way I felt about Padme, Captain Panaka, her handmaidens, Mom Mothma, all of them. That's what it's for. It's just to give you an expansion on your love if you're a hardcore fan. If you're just a movie fan, then by definition, I wouldn't call you a hardcore fan. You're a casual fan. And you can watch the movies and get everything you want out of the movies. Just like Battlefront 2. When Battlefront 2 came out, everybody's like, oh man, this story is very paint by numbers. It's like Iden automatically joins the rebellion after just 5 missions. No. If you read Inferno Squad by Christy Golden, she was a hardcore Imperial, and then something happens at the end of that novel to where she starts to question the Empire's motives. So it was an entire novel and half of a story of a video game that turned to her. And I had a friend who he reviews games and movies for a career, and he's like, I shouldn't have to read the book to get it. It should be in the game. Dude, you can only fit so much in a 2-hour movie and an 8-hour game. You can only fit so much. But it drives me nuts when people say that.
Yeah. I agree with you, though. It's like people don't understand that you can't put everything in something that's really small if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood that complaint. I shouldn't have to read, which I agree, you don't have to read, but I think it's good for those who do to get rewarded in some way. You know, the same thing with people that watch like Star Wars Rebels. You shouldn't have to watch Rebels, but those of you that do, you know, Rogue One means a little more because of all the Rebels references and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm done talking crap. Let's get to a couple questions here. No super chat questions yet, but that's surprising. Jesse Lopez, Disney confirmed that New Mutants will still get a theatrical release? We'll wait and see when that actually happens, if that happens. Let's see if we got any more Star Wars questions here. These are all MCU questions. Jesus Christ. Green Hedgehog writes, do you think the new Star Wars game will be like Battlefront 2? Did you see the trailer for that, Nick?
Dude, I think it's going to be a next-gen Force Unleashed.
I think it's going to be better in Force Unleashed. I did a trailer reaction to it yesterday, and I was like, oh, man, this looks awesome. Because I like Force Unleashed, and I like Force Unleashed 2, but it got kind of ridiculous, like pulling Star Destroyers out of the sky and.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like the gameplay. It's gonna be lightsaber
Yeah,
combat.
yeah, it's gonna be lightsaber combat, but it's gonna have RPG elements as well. They said at the panel, but I'm hoping that's gonna be kind of a grounded Star Wars game where we're not like ripping fucking Star Destroyers from the sky because that's just fucking insane at that point. Because this is gonna be canon, so it's gotta stay in that realm of believability. Because if this motherfucker's ripping Star Destroyers from the sky, people are gonna be like, well, where the fuck was this guy when the rebellion was,
right?
So
it never makes sense when you have this character that's so powerful and he like dies. It's like how can he just die?
Yeah. I really liked the first Force Unleashed, and I thought they really did a good job explaining his story arc and when he died at the end, like how they kind of built the Rebel Alliance around the symbol and stuff. But that's just the sort of thing about canon and not canon, because that game was fun, but it was never considered canon. Where this game is 100% canon, so they have to keep things within the realm. So, some guy writes, "What do you think the future of Star Wars will be after the rise of Skywalker?" The Old Republic, my friend. That's where we're going. That's where we're going next. Benioff and Wise, man. Benioff and Wise. 2021, 2022, I believe. That first one
I
going to
think
come out.
that the Old Republic will like. I honestly think it'll get rid of a lot of the hate that Star Wars is getting right now, and it's going to kind of like revive it in a way.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the people that bitch about The Last Jedi they're wearing their nostalgia glasses, going, "Oh, my Luke wouldn't do that." And like I said, it's been 30 years. Don't tell me your fucking Luke wouldn't do that. No, you're good. I'm fine. I can hear it, but it's fine. It's not that bad. But yeah, everybody's like, they're so attached to these characters that they have in their mind what things should be and what they shouldn't be. So I think with the Old Republic movies, new characters, new stories, no one can sit there and say, well, my Luke wouldn't do that because your Luke is not even born yet. So I'm actually super hyped for the Old Republic movies.
Yes, and it's going to go so back in time that like there's going to be no characters. Maybe what, Yoda, since Yoda's so old, but this is going to be before Yoda, isn't it?
Well, it depends how far back they go. If they go, oh, we got a super chat coming in. Hold on, I'm coming in for you, buddy. Hold on, I'm coming in. Give me 1 second. Let me finish this thought. All right, DC. Yeah, it depends how far back they go. If they go back over 1,000 years, then no, Yoda won't be in there because Yoda was only like 900 when he died. But if they go back like 700, you could have a young Yoda who's not on the Jedi Council yet. And he doesn't have to be a main character. It could just be like a mention or showing him, But yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Mace Windu said there's like hasn't been a Sith in thousands of years. So they can't go back 800 years because technically there wouldn't be no Sith there because Mace Windu said in episode 1. So I think the best thing is just go back like 1,000 years. Get all new fucking characters. All right. DC writes, I'm sorry for being late. What's thoughts on Disney Plus? Can't wait for Disney Plus. $6.99, I believe, is what they're estimating is going to be for a month. $6.99 for a month. It's launching with The Mandalorian. It's launching with The Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's launching with so much stuff, all of The Simpsons, like everything. Like it's gonna have all the MCU movies, all Star Wars content. So yeah, DC, thanks for that super chat, man. I am definitely looking forward to Disney Plus. I will be getting it on, I believe, November 12th is what the release date is. So yep, another $7 coming out of my pocket every month. I'm probably just gonna cancel my DC Universe subscription because fucking Doom Patrol just went down the hill. That fucking thing sucks. You getting Disney Plus? No?
Hell no.
You're not going to get Disney Plus for The Mandalorian?
I don't care. No, I don't care for anything Disney makes. I think Star Wars is the only property they have that I like.
Well, this is what you do. You wait for it all to get released, sign up for the free trial, binge it, and then get rid of it.
Exactly.
Man, you a Disney hating motherfucker, man.
I'm not a hater. I just never liked anything. Like, if you're going to talk about old Disney cartoon movies, dude, I hated them when I was a kid.
Really?
Like, yes. I was a strange kid. Seriously.
I mean, I wasn't like a massive fan of them, but dude, like I loved like Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and
No, not
Aladdin.
me. Like I would watch them for 5 minutes, and as soon as someone started singing, I turned it off.
My dad was like that. I'm like, Dad, you want to watch Lion King? And like every time they're breaking a song, he was like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that. I don't know. I'm weird too, but I mean, I am looking forward to the Disney Lion King live action. Unfortunately, Aladdin looks god awful. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that genie, man.
I have seen pictures.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Coming straight out of the lamp.
Honestly, that kind of makes me want to see it just to see what kind of a disaster it'll be.
Yeah, right. I don't know yet. I have to decide. If I go, it's only because of Jasmine being played by Naomi Scott, but I don't know if I want to go see it just for her. I'll just wait for Charlie's Angels to come out. She's going to be in that. Probably half naked too, so. Sleazy Dog. Would you be more disappointed if episode 9 isn't as good or Endgame? I don't know what you're I don't know understand what you're trying to say.
He said isn't good or Endgame.
Yeah, so like he's asking me if I would be disappointed if they aren't good, and I don't look at Star Wars like that. I don't look at Star Wars like I didn't think Solo was that good, right? But I left the movie. I'm like, look, this ain't that good. But I kind of went in the movie knowing it wasn't gonna be good. Episode 9. I don't understand because everybody has their own definition of good. Like, I guarantee you, there's 42 people watching. I guarantee you, like 35 of them hate The Last Jedi, right? And I think Last Jedi is fucking amazing. I just rewatched it 2 days ago, right? And I think it's good. So my definition of good is different than your definition of good. And the reason why I think Last Jedi is good is because of all the connections it makes. Like, Luke was awesome. I don't know where people like, that's not my Luke. The fact that Luke was like, look, the Jedi done fucked up again. In their fucking prime, they allowed Darth Sidious to rise right in front of them and take over the entire, Republic. Mm-hmm. It was like, the fact that Luke, like, said that, it was like, yes, this motherfucker got it. He got it. He understands that the Jedi's like, man, we a bunch of fucking retards, It's like, time for the Jedi to end. And then fucking Rey's like, no, we gotta do this. You gotta do this. And Luke's like, what the fuck you want me to do? Go out in front of the entire First Order with a fucking laser sword? Like, what do you want me to do? So I love that. So see, the thing was, episode 8 had things I didn't like about it, like Rose and Canto Bight. I hated all that stuff. But I more look at the positives and I don't dwell on the negatives.
Rob, you just reminded me of something. Why do Star Wars fans get so pissed when George Lucas or Luke call it a laser sword? Like, they think they're too retarded to know it's a lightsaber.
Well, the thing was,
it was originally supposed to be called.
Yeah, Rian Johnson, the director for episode 8, knew people got pissed off when George Lucas called it a laser sword. That's why he wrote in the script for Luke to say that, just to trigger those people. That's just fucking hilarious. It's a fucking laser sword, God. It's a fucking laser sword.
I took it as an homage to George Lucas.
Yeah, that's what it was, pretty much, because it kind of goes back to that. So
yeah,
it was sort of like tongue-in-cheek sort of thing. It's like, why do people get so pissed off? I'm like, I go to the supermarket in my car. I don't go in my supermarket in my 2005 Saturn Accord or whatever. Like, it's just shut up, people. Stop fucking bitching. People bitch over everything. Killer Rice. How will they resurrect Luke? What's your theory on that? They're not going to resurrect Luke. You think just because the title is the Rise of Skywalker that they're going to resurrect Luke? Nah, that ain't going to happen.
I see a lot of people saying that they're going to add Anakin because of the title. I don't really buy that. I don't know why.
I don't buy that either. There's so many theories going on. And the fact is, there were so many theories going into episode 8, and all of them were wrong. So I'm trying to stop myself from theorizing because I don't want to go in going, oh, well,
that is part of the fun, though.
It is, but the problem is, when people theorize, and I'm gonna throw this name out there right now. I don't care who I piss off. Star Wars theory is the biggest motherfucker about this. He comes out with 1,000,001 different theories, which is absolutely fine. That is like you said, that is the fun of doing it. But when your theories don't happen, don't get all pissed off and say you hate the movie because your theories didn't come true. You know, that's what I hate. I hate when like
And if their theories do come true, then they're gonna say the movie was predictable.
Yes. Yeah, it's like we predicted, Luke and Rey to fight the Knights of Ren and all this, and none of that happens. Like, how come they didn't have the Knights of Ren in there? Like, shut up. Shut up. You're not the one making the movie. You're just on a YouTube channel coming up with theories. So there is nothing. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're gonna resurrect Luke. I think the name Rise of Skywalker is symbolic, which means I think Rey is either gonna be a Skywalker, Rey's either gonna be a Solo, or it's symbolic to Kylo Ren being redeemed. The Rise of Skywalker.
I really think it's the last one.
Yeah, I think that's if I was in Vegas and I had to put money on it, it would be that last one. So I think that's what's gonna happen. This is my theory, and I think this is the one that's most realistic. I think we're gonna find out that somehow Palpatine has been pulling strings and has been using Kylo as a puppet the entire time to try to resurrect Palpatine, and then when Kylo realizes he's been used this entire time, that's when we're going to start to see his redemption. I think that's what's going to happen.
And to bring back up Star Wars theories, I watched one of his video, and he was saying that, I don't know if you're going to agree with this, but when Kylo killed Snoke, he was saying that whole scene seemed staged, like the way Snoke was sitting down and the red drapes and the Knights of Ren there and the fight, like it all seems staged. Do you get that?
I get that. I don't.
Like he's saying Palpatine manipulated that entire instance.
No.
No?
No. How? I
don't know, but it's just, I don't know. It was something worth thinking about to me.
That dude comes up with some outlandish stuff, man. First of all, I can pretty much 150% million percent here guarantee Rian Johnson didn't know anything about Palpatine in Episode 8. That I guarantee you, Rian Johnson didn't know anything about Palpatine. Rian Johnson went in, did his movie, not knowing what was going to happen in Episode 9. It was just one self-contained movie. And I watched the entire documentary on that movie, and they were just, the theme of that movie was red. Crate was red. Oh, we got Valhalla coming in the super chat, and he's writing, I hope Disney moves forward with Star Wars by making it more ensemble focused instead of centered on Skywalkers once the new trilogy is done. Yeah, we talked about this a few minutes ago. They're going to go back to the Old Republic next. I don't think Rian Johnson's trilogy is happening, but I believe Benioff and Weiss has been confirmed to have a trilogy, and that is what they're going to focus on next after this new trilogy. So, yeah. I'm one of the ones that believe we should have never even got a 7, 8, or 9. And they wanted to do a new Star Wars. They should have just done something else, man. But
I've been wanting an Old Republic since, like, the beginning.
I think that's what everybody wants, man. Everybody wants Old Republic. You know? I want to see an army of fucking Sith versus an army of fucking Jedi.
Exactly, man.
I want to see, like, even though I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, I want to see, like, Lord of the Rings with lightsabers versus, like, the fucking Sith. I just want to see them collide and fucking force push each other out fucking.
Yeah.
Like,
I know a lot of people have, like, their different favorites of Star Wars. Like, some people like the spaceships and, you know, the guns, but I like the Force. I like the lightsabers.
Yeah.
I like the fast running, the high jumping, all that stuff. That's what I like.
Yeah, I watch Collider Jedi Council every Thursday, and Ken Knapsack, who's on there, he's a big fan of the rebellion military aspects and the politics behind it. And I enjoy that too, especially reading the books. That's where they get more deep
Yeah,
into
the
that.
politics is very
Yeah.
good.
And I enjoy that. But like you said, man, ever since Disney took over, it's like the Force is not existent, man. It's like the way, like when I was a young kid after watching Return of the Jedi, when I was like maybe 10 or 12, the thing that popped in my head was, oh, well, now Luke is going to rebuild the Jedi Order, and we're going to have a new era of Jedi. And then we get Force Awakens, and nope, still no Jedi around. It's like, what the fuck? It's been 30 years. 30 years. And I was watching, after I was watching the Battlefront, or not Battlefront, but the Fallen Order trailer yesterday, I was like, well, here's another Jedi who survived Order 66. So there's countless Jedi that survived Order 66. How come none of them teamed up with Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi to rebuild the Order? How come we get to Episode 8 and he had like maybe 20 students and Kylo like killed half of them and took the other half? I don't get that. I don't get that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too.
I think JJ tried so hard to try to make it mimic A New Hope that, you know, they took the Force out of Star Wars. That's what Disney did. I think that's what a lot of backlash is honestly coming from, because they wanted to see like Luke come out and do like some Force Unleashed shit, where there has not been any Force.
Yeah.
You know, we have like one or two people with lightsabers, where you go back, you can say what you want about Attack of Clones. I personally like Attack of Clones. But when they were on Geonosis and you see fucking the Jedi charging the fucking droid army, dude, that is legit shit.
That's why I like the prequels so much, man, because you see so much Force like everywhere. And I don't care if like they ruin the explanation by calling it midi-chlorians and telling people everything. I want more of the Force. I don't care what they say about it. I just want to see it in action.
Yeah. Well, I know George Lucas wanted to explain more. I don't think Benioff and Wise is gonna do that, but I do think when I look at what Benioff and Wise is doing, and maybe this is just me doing what I said I shouldn't do, and that's having expectations and theories, but I kind of look at Game of Thrones, what they did with Game of Thrones, and I see like this political fantasy of the Jedi trying to keep peace, and then the Sith keep trying to take over the galaxy. And I kind of look at Game of Thrones and be like, well, you know, if you look at Battle of the Bastards with fucking lightsabers, that's pretty much what we're gonna get, you know? And I'm hoping we see that. I hope we see like this giant power struggle in the galaxy, and then maybe by the end of the trilogy, and I hope they don't end the trilogy to make it seem like it all wraps up, because I think if it's successful, I would like to see them continue it. I don't know why Star Wars keeps boxing themselves in trilogy story arcs. I think that's such an old school way of looking at things. You look at what MCU's done; they have 22
Yeah, I was about
films.
to say that too.
Yeah, they have 22 fucking film story arc. You know, can you imagine what the MCU would have been like if we're only limiting the MCU to one trilogy, then we're going to do another trilogy? No. It's like it's a continuous storyline. So if the Old Republic movies are successful, even if Benioff and Wise doesn't want to stay on after the third film, move on with another visionary and continue that story, because it's so far back, you can continue that story for years to come. And you can build a whole new brand of Star Wars. You can have so many new characters and give people the Force they want. And you can still have the politics in there for certain people that like the politics, because you're going to get the Old Republic. Valhalla comes in with a super chat. Could a film noir set in Star Wars verse work? I kind of want to say that's sort of what The Mandalorian is going to be.
I don't really get that question.
You know, like a film noir, sort of like
Ain't that like old? Like,
yeah, it's like old black and white. You know,
yeah,
mobster type feel, and that's something like well, as far as I know, Disney's getting rid of the standalone, like the Star Wars stories. They're getting rid of those, and those are all going to Disney Plus as television series now. So I don't think we're ever going to get where Star Wars is experimenting with single films anymore. I think Solo pretty much scared them, since that's the first Star Wars movie ever to flop at the box office. But I mean, I think that's like what you're talking about. I think that's sort of what you're going to get with Mandalorian. It's going to be like this noir type Western. So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the noir stuff. So, I mean, I don't even like Spider-Man noir that much. I love the character. I just don't like reading the stuff. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens if Kathleen Kennedy leaves, because I think she has no concept of what to do with Star Wars. Killer Rice, will you do a video on Game of Thrones last season? I don't know. Well, this is what I'll do. I'm watching it tonight. God knows I have my countdown on. I will do a review after this episode. If it gets good clicks, if it gets a nice amount of views, I'll continue. If not, I'm not going to continue, because then it's just a waste of my time. You should do a podcast. That's what I'm doing right now. This is a live podcast. This is what I'm doing, man. This is what I'm doing. What other questions we got? Oh, yeah, tomorrow I got to do a recap on Shazam. It's only at 221 million. That's not good, man. That's not good. Dude, my fucking head is killing me. I might have to call it here in a second. Anything you want to talk about, Nick? Any ideas, predictions?
For Star Wars?
Yeah, let's keep it Star Wars based, since it is Star Wars Celebration.
I'm not sure what I should say. I do think that I'm gonna like Episode 9 a lot. I think it'll probably be my favorite out of this, new trilogy. That's just my expectations, though.
It's kind of weird, because Episode 7 and 8 are both in my top 5 favorite Star Wars films. And people are like, "Oh, you can't do that, man. You can't do that." It's like, I think I got Episode 4 number 1, Episode 8 number 2, Force Awakens number 3, Revenge of the Sith is in the top 5, and probably Rogue One. I don't know. It moves around for me. Sometimes I'm in the mood and I'll put like Empire in the top 5. But the more people praise Empire, the less I like it. I'm like, Empire.
Yeah, I get you on that.
I'm like, dude, Empire is good. Don't get me wrong. But you people make it sound like it's fucking Citizen Kane of Star Wars. It's not that great. I promise you. It's fucking boring as hell through most of that movie. It's like,
well, you know what? I was going to say that the one thing that I was most excited for in the trailer that they released is that C-3PO was along with them.
Yes. Well, JJ confirmed in the panel that the entire group is going to be together through the entire movie. So that actually makes me happy. I didn't like the whole split it off doing 500 different things in the fucking movie, man.
Yeah, and I just hope... I don't want to sound like one of those people, but man, I just hope Rose isn't in the movie. I hated her so much.
Yeah. I mean, they brought her out in the panel, but I'm hoping they really limit her role.
Yeah.
I mean, if she dies, I'll probably stand up and cheer. But yeah, nothing against the actress, nothing against her being Chinese or anything like that. It just, I didn't like her character.
Her character was just not well written.
No, I thought I'd much rather learn more about her sister, and she only was in the movie for 5 minutes. It's just, yeah, her character was just like, it just, yeah, like you said, it
felt like it got in the way too, and it ruined Finn's story.
Yes. Like, I love Finn. I would love to have Finn through the entire trilogy, but if he would have killed himself, it would have been so good for his arc. It was like, here's a guy that only cares about himself, who's running away, that by the end, he's willing to sacrifice himself for his friends, and he finally has the courage to stand up to the first. It would have made so much for his character, and then here comes Rose. Nope, it's the power of love, motherfucker. Andrew comes in with a super chat. Hey, Rob, hope you're enjoying your vacation, and I hope you're feeling a lot better, my friend. Thank you so much, Andrew, for a super chat. I am feeling a little better. Just mentioned a few minutes ago that I'm starting to get this massive splitting headache. that's sort of what happened. Wednesday I woke up with this massive headache. My nose was all stuffy. Um, I still have this cough. I kind of got to reach over and cough every now and then. And yeah, my headache's kind of gone. Like, I just woke up about an hour ago, and now my headache is back again. But I'm trying to take stuff, so it kind of comes and goes. I still have 5 days before I go back to work, so I'm just trying to kind of rest and hopefully play the shit out. Because at least I'm not at work when I'm sick. But that, again, that's why the lack of videos lately. I really do apologize. There just isn't nothing to talk about, really. But Star Wars Celebration, and Disney's not going to release any Endgame news until after Celebration because they don't want to take Celebration's thunder. So that's why I'm doing the live stream today and just kind of talking. So thank you so much, Andrew, for your super chat. But yeah, back to what you're saying, Nick. Yeah, oh man, she killed me, man.
Yes. Like that whole middle part of episode 8 where they're like at that casino and they're riding whatever those animals were, like that's just the worst part.
It was a waste of time. Now I fight against anybody who complains about Holdo not explaining the plan the Poe, because if you look at it, why would she explain her plan to Poe? She's looking at it from, well, here's a guy who just got everybody killed. Leia just demoted him, so I'm not going to tell him the plan. So I understand that. I don't understand why that gets criticism. But I do understand the criticism of, oh, we're going to ship you to this planet to get this code breaker so you can then fly back. It's like the amount of time it would take to do that, you would run out of fuel any damn way if you're not shot down. It's like, I don't understand why they just didn't make Rose this genius tactician and code breaker, and then her and Finn try to infiltrate Snoke's ship and try to do it there. Like, why do this whole side trip to Canto Bight? It makes absolutely no sense other than them trying to hammer animal abuse is bad, which I already know animal abuse is bad.
Like,
yeah.
What would you say is worse, that? Because I know you don't like the pod racing scene. Which one would you rather watch?
Oh, the pod racing scene, 100%. Because the pod racing scene, even though I don't like it, it's very significant to the story. It shows how Anakin is the only human that can do it. That shows the power he is with the Force, and it shows, how he was such a great pilot, like Obi-Wan said in A New Hope. So it was important to the entire story, whereas you can take the entire Canto Bight scene out of the movie, have them leave the ship, and then next time you see them, cut them going into Snoke's ship, and it's like nothing ever happened. It's like 20 minutes you could have cut out of the movie because it doesn't change the end of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like I think Rian Johnson was doing it just to show people that, hey, sometimes heroes fail. Things don't go the way they're supposed to. I think that was his point, but it was so convoluted and so messy the way it went about doing it that I was just like, this is fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But on the bright side, I did enjoy the Canto Bight novel. I thought that was fun. But the whole Canto Bight stuff and Rose stuff was completely useless. And Finn almost felt like a different character than he was in Force Awakens.
A bit, yeah.
To be honest, I kind of felt like Finn and Poe both felt like different characters than Force Awakens. Because you look at Poe at the end of Force Awakens, he doesn't seem like a hothead, Like he's like, oh, hey, BB-8, and he's really because he's working with Leia and everybody at the end of Force Awakens trying to figure out how to take out Star Killer Base. But the Poe they show in Episode 8 is like, oh, let's just go bomb every fucking thing, So it almost felt like different characters in that aspect. But that's really my only negatives of that movie. I think everything they did with Rey, Luke, and Kylo I thought was fantastic. Besides, of course, Luke throwing that lightsaber. Oh, I want to get. Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on this fucking lightsaber, man. Hold on, I'm gonna run and get me some coffee real quick. Give me 2 minutes. I want to get your thoughts on this lightsaber. Okay. I got a lot to talk about.
I know what you're gonna ask too. Valhalla, I'll tell him about your super chat.
Oh, I'm back, and we got a super chat coming from Valhalla, who writes, "Never give the trolls a platform. Get well soon." Thank you, Valhalla. Thank you again for your super chat, man. I appreciate it. Nick, you there?
Yep. So
All right.
you're gonna ask me about Luke's lightsaber, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you caught what I was talking about in the other stream, but this lightsaber was never important, right? And then it seems like this lightsaber is so important in this new trilogy, and I don't get it, right? Because other than the lightsaber being like, oh, this was your father's lightsaber, he wanted you to have it, which we knew wasn't true, and then Luke lost it in episode 5. And it was never mentioned again. He made a new lightsaber, right? And then episode 7 comes out, and this lightsaber is the most important thing. Like, it's called to Rey, and she touches and has this vision. And it's like, oh, Kylo wants it. Then it splits in half, and then we got to re-put this thing back together. Like, this lightsaber was not that important. And
I don't get it either.
Yeah, I don't... like, what is it about this lightsaber? And if you ask the majority of fans... That's not even the best Luke Skywalker lightsaber. Everybody prefers the green one. I don't know about you.
Me too.
Yes, I prefer the green one. It's so fucking awesome. So I don't get, like, what's so important about this lightsaber, especially since technically this isn't Anakin's legit lightsaber. His legit lightsaber was destroyed on Geonosis on the factory belt, and then he just reconstructed the same type of lightsaber before Revenge of the Sith, just to kind of mimic it so it would all flow together with episode 4. So it's like, this is not even his legit lightsaber. And then it's like, it's so, like, why didn't they just take the lightsaber destroyed, right? We see the crystal split in half at the end of episode 8. Why didn't Rey just take the 2 crystals, which I think Rian Johnson was alluding to, and just put it at the end of her staff, and she had a double lightsaber? It would have been different and awesome, but no, we got to have fan service for all those people that hate episode 8, and we got to bring the lightsaber back. It doesn't make sense.
I don't even know what to say, man, but that lightsaber, I guess, has more meaning to the original trilogy than it does to the prequels, and that's the only reason I can think of that they're doing it, is to appease the original trilogy fanboys.
Yeah, but see, even then, I would argue that if you go back to the original trilogy, and you say rank your lightsaber, it would probably be like Luke's green one, Obi-Wan's lightsaber, Darth Vader, and then probably Luke's blue lightsaber. It's like because I don't know how much you paid attention, because I know you caught up to the sequels a little later than the theatrical release. But I remember all the theories going on before episode 8 came out. Everybody was like, oh man, I can't wait for Luke to whip out that green lightsaber. Like, everybody was talking about that. Like, whip out that green lightsaber. And then it's like, oh no, this lightsaber is more important than anybody's lightsaber. It's like, why? I don't get it. And I like when they get creative with new lightsabers. You know, that's why I like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, because it's creative. I would love to see Rey turn her staff into a lightsaber, and to see her just having that same old lightsaber at her side. I was like, this is literally just pandering to fanboys.
It's so, like, left field too, because you would expect Rey to have a double-sided lightsaber.
Yes, it fits her fighting style, and that's what I argue with people with who says Force Awakens, like, oh, Rey's a Mary Sue, how could she learn how to fight? She's been fighting on Jakku her fucking entire life, right? She knows how to fight with her staff. And when she's fighting Kylo at the end, right when she gets the upper hand, you can go back and freeze frame all that. You see her tip her lightsaber upside down, and she starts to swing it like her staff. And that's when she kind of gets the upper hand. So I thought it was
she was getting her ass handed to her that whole fight,
yeah, because she doesn't know how to fight with a saber. She never fought with a sword before. But when she used it as a staff-type sword, she was able to get the upper hand.
It's so obvious, too. Like, how can people not pick that up? They made it as obvious as it can be.
Yeah, people will argue that shit all the time. Oh, she's just a Mary Sue. How can she learn how to fight? How can she beat Kylo? Like, guys... One, Kylo got his fucking stomach blown out of his ass by a fucking bowcaster. 2, Rey has been fighting on a desert planet her whole life. We just saw an hour ago her beating the shit out of these thugs, You know, so she knows how to handle herself. I don't get the Mary Sue argument at all. But yeah, I just thought it would have been so cool if they did something different and had her have a double lightsaber. Like I guarantee you, if we would have saw that trailer, and we had the same image of the episode 9 trailer, her in the desert, right? But she has her staff in her hand, and that TIE fighter is coming at her. And instead of her like lighting up the lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber, and flipping over, she lights up her staff, and it's double bladed, and she cuts one of the wings off. Dude, that would get a massive pop. Like when Darth Maul popped out of the elevator, dude, and he had the fucking double lightsaber.
Oh
that
man, that's
that was
such
like
a great.
that's in the top 5 greatest Star Wars moments of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we haven't seen a double staff in the movies since episode 1. And it would be awesome to see Rey wielding that. But no, we go right back to the old classic way. That's why I can't wait for Old Republic. Because we're going to get so many different versions of the lightsabers.
How do you feel about like a bunch of the different color lightsabers, or do you just like green and blue and that's it?
Well, I don't mind the different colors, but the problem is, like I said, I read canon novels, so they kind of can't change the colors now. But there's only
Oh, I forgot to say purple and red.
yeah, the red one is because they bleed the blade. So the legit colors as of right now is purple, just because it's Sam Jackson for some reason. Green, blue, red, and white. And the white is the reverse of the bleed. So Ahsoka took an Inquisitor's lightsaber, which was a red blade, and she bled the crystal, like reverse bled it, which took out all the red and made it just a white blade. That's why her lightsabers are white now. So I don't know if I'm pretty sure they can explain why they want to make like a pink.
I want the yellow one to come back.
I actually like the yellow one. When I play a Star Wars game, when I can change my blade color, I always go for yellow. I really like the yellow one. Pert minded right here, Ray should have a yellow one. I agree 100%, because once that kyber crystal was split in half at the end of episode 8, she has it on the ship with Leia, and you can see where the crystals were split in half, right? So once she touches that crystal should then change to whatever she is. So the way the new canon is for the crystals, it's whenever you get your crystal, the color changes to fit you. So I think they can add a yellow one. I don't think it'll be hard, and it won't ruin canon at all. I would love to see the yellow one come back. I don't want to see no rainbow colored ones.
Oh, hell no.
Because in Legends, in the Jedi Academy novel, there was a character who had a like rainbow colored blade, and I think that's just when you get ridiculous.
I never knew that, and that is ridiculous.
Well, the good thing is that character died in that novel, so he was like a one and done. So, but yeah, I the purple lightsaber need to come back. I disagree. I hated the purple lightsaber. I hated that thing. And if you watch the behind the scenes, if you go back to episode 2 and you watch the if you have the episode 2 original DVD on the second disc, there's a documentary called The Weapon of the Jedi or whatever, and you watch that, it shows Sam Jackson and Ahmed Best, who plays Jar Jar, go up to George Lucas, is like, when am I going to get my lightsaber color? And he asks George about it, and he's like, well, heroes are blue and green, the evil guys are red. And then Sam Jackson's like, so I can't get purple? And then Lucas is like, I guess we can make yours purple. So he just did it to appease Sam Jackson. So I hated the purple lightsaber. It was like, what the fuck does it even mean? And I know they kind of told legend stories about, well, it's kind of because he taps into the dark side. Oh, we got Valhalla with a super chat. And he says, if you could update anything from Star Wars verse, what would it be? I thought the Jedi not allowed to be in a relationship was silly. I don't. I think that works for that time period.
It's necessary because it shows you how flawed the Jedi are.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people miss out of the prequels. They don't pay attention to it. It shows like, especially if you watch the Clone Wars cartoon, it shows how the Jedi were so far up their own ass that they were their own destruction. That's what Luke was saying in episode 8. It's like they were flawed, you know. And I think them not being able to love made sense because the Jedi were so afraid of attachment that if you would detach, then you might, like, if you wouldn't be attached, you'd be less likely to go to the dark side, and that's what Anakin was fighting with.
This is the whole reason of the prequels. Like, they try to really explain that to you. This is why Anakin went the path he did.
Yeah,
these rules,
and that's why in episode 1, Mace Windu didn't want Anakin to be trained because he was already like 11 years old. So he had attachment to his mother. And he's like, no, this is dangerous. This boy, he's hurting. He's suffering from the loss of his mother already, just being separated by her. He has too much emotion. That's why they take kids when they're like infants. So they are, it's really.
And make them into machines.
Yeah, it's sort of like what they did in Halo, where Dr. Halsey went and they kidnapped all these little kids and they made them into these giant Spartan soldiers. The Jedi are really, if you think about it, the Jedi are kind of wicked and evil when you think about it from that point of view, where the Sith have no attachment.
Like, that's exactly what Anakin says at the end of 3. In my opinion, the Jedi are evil.
Yes. The prequels are so smart. I think people focus on the bad and they don't realize how smart it is. And that's why I love episode 8 so much, is because Luke got it. Luke is like, look, I've been studying for the past 30 years. The Jedi were fucked up, you know? And they showed how fucked up they were in the season finale of Clone Wars, where Ahsoka was framed for killing somebody, and the Jedi were ready to dismiss her without even having any proof. And then at the end, when Anakin found the proof, and Yoda's like, well, this is your trial. We want you back as a Jedi. And Ahsoka's like, no. You guys didn't trust me. I'm sorry. I'm not a Jedi no more. I'm leaving the Order. So it really showed you how twisted and fucked up the Jedi Order was. And when you get into the behind-the-scenes stuff and really listen to George Lucas talk about it, the episodes 1 through 3 was brilliant.
Yes, and Anakin is a little more complex than people lead on, because Anakin didn't really want to be with Palpatine. He wanted to overthrow him and start a new, empire in his image. What Palpatine did was not what he wanted. He only did that because Padme died, so he kind of, lost himself.
Yeah, and not only that, before Anakin turned to the dark side, Anakin wanted to take out Palpatine. Like, he went to Mace Windu. He's like, hey, Palpatine is the Sith Lord. And now, if he was fully committed to Palpatine, he would have never went to Mace Windu and said that. But what happened was, we saw in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin had the visions of Padme dying. He went to Yoda and said, Yoda, like, this is happening. What should I do? And what's Yoda's brilliant Dr. Phil advice? Oh, let it all go. It happens. And like, Anakin's like, I don't accept that, man. How, like, I just found out the love of my life is going to die. And your advice is, well, they're going to be the Force, so it's cool. Like, so you understand Anakin's decision to go to the dark side. And he didn't go to the dark side because he believed in Palpatine. He went to the dark side because he believed that was the only way to save Padme. The prequels are brilliant, okay? Brilliant. Yes, some of the dialogue is a little clunky. Some of the special effects are a little but the story behind it is actually brilliant. So we got another super chat coming in from Amran, who writes, Ahsoka also got some of Anakin's personality, like caring for people and not just being emotionless. She understood Anakin. Yeah, Ahsoka is in my top 5 favorite characters of Star Wars history. I love Ahsoka. She's such a fucking good character, especially in Rebels. She's such a good character. Her versus Darth Vader in season 2 is one of the best scenes of all time. But yeah, it just goes back to show you, about how George Lucas was filling these prequels up and talking about the Jedi Code. And I think they're going to get into that in the Old Republic too. I think they're going to get into why the Jedi can't love or stuff. I think there's going to be, and I don't know about, you might have a different opinion on this, Nick, because you played the Old Republic game, so you might have more of an opinion on this. But I think you're going to have like a group of Jedi, and then you're going to have some that splinter off into the dark Sith ways, And and then after that, I think the Jedi were like, okay, we need to have rules here. Look, you can't be fucking people and having kids because that's going to lead to the dark side. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
The one thing that I wonder, like, are they gonna make the rules from the Old Republic different? Like, they're gonna make it to where somewhere along the lines these rules got kind of like bastardized and changed to where, you know, it wasn't in the beginning you can't have a relationship, but somehow someone turned that rule into that. Like, was the old Jedi Order different from the Jedi Order in the prequels?
I think that's what's gonna happen. I think something's gonna happen where they're gonna be sort of like laid back. They're gonna have the Jedi Order and whatnot, and maybe one of them has a family, and maybe their family gets killed. Like maybe their child or wife or whatever or spouse gets killed, and then they turn to the dark side and become like the greatest dark side Sith of all time. And then maybe the Jedi Order's like, look, man, we got to come up with some kind of rule so this doesn't happen again. And then they're like, look, we can't love or have a relationship and, you know, almost become monks. But yeah, I see something like that possibly happening. So it's really curious. I'm actually so excited for that. I want to see what they're going to do to expand the Jedi lore.
The lore of Star Wars is just what makes the movies more interesting than the actual, like, what's happening in the movies, at least to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with the First Order coming and all this shit, but the problem is that's really just a rehash of the Empire. It's like the First Order wasn't really... The First Order is just like Empire Light. It's like Diet Empire. It's like they came from the outside reaches, but they didn't grow from underneath the Republic like the Empire did. It wasn't like this giant Sith Lord completely manipulating both the Senate and the... That's why Palpatine is so fucking awesome, dude. Palpatine played chess with the Senate and the Jedi Council at the same time. Meanwhile, manipulating the outside planets to become the Separatists, and he was basically the coach for both teams, coaching this stuff. And it was like, Palpatine is a fucking genius. So, yeah, you know, I like that stuff, but I want to know more about the Jedi lore. I want to know about these books that Luke had. Like, where did these books come from? Who came up with these books and stuff? Yeah, so how many canon novels are there? Hold on one second. I'll let you know. I got them all on Audible. There's quite a bit now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 25 right now. There's actually a couple more than that, like the solo novel or whatever. But I really don't count all that too much. But there's like 25 right now. But like I tell people, I don't have a lot of time to read either, you know, because I work a lot, and then when I'm not working, I'm on YouTube. So I have Audible. You can sign up for Audible and get a whole month free. As soon as you sign up, you get 1 credit to get any free book you want. And then while I'm either working on the computer or I'm working at work in my cooler, I put a headphone in and I listen to it. And you can go through a book in, like, depending on how you listen to it, you know, a couple hours you can get through a book. And that's what I kind of do. So, and it's really awesome. The Audible books are fantastic. It's like listening to the movies. It's like you'll listen to it and they'll play like the Star Wars music in the background. If they shoot guns, you hear the laser bolts, you hear the lightsaber light up. The voice acting sounds just like the characters like Palpatine and whatnot. And I love it. Like, I love the Aftermath trilogy on Audible. It's just fantastic. And if you're a Star Wars fan, I definitely suggest, you know, checking it out. You know, like, put on Audible. It's a great time. A lot of people, they listen to music in their car. I'll put on Audible on the way to work. It's just something I like personally. And I try to read when I can, but if I don't, I always do Audible. And if I get free time, sometimes I do Audible while I read. But this Tuesday is the Qui-Gon book coming out called Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray, one of the best Star Wars authors right now. That book is going to be fantastic. Fantastic. I can't wait for that. Tuesday, I'll be going to the bookstore to pick that up, so I can't wait. You picking that up, Nick?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, I can't
Dude,
wait.
you know how much I love Qui-Gon. I have to.
Qui-Gon is mentioned so much in that Padme book. It's not even funny. Padme.
The thing sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the thing I love so much about Qui-Gon is that from what we've seen, he is the first Jedi to actually question the Jedi Order and not follow it blindly.
Yeah, well, other than Dooku.
Oh, that's true. That's right. Yes.
And that's why I like Attack of the Clones, because Dooku comes right out and tells Obi-Wan all the truth. Like, he's like, what if I tell you that the Senate is in charge by a dark Sith? And then he's like, if Qui-Gon was here, he would help. And then Obi-Wan's like, Qui-Gon would never join you. But no, Qui-Gon would 100% join Dooku, because Qui-Gon knew about the corruption in the Senate. And in the Padme book that came out a couple weeks ago, Queen Shadow, she mentions Qui-Gon and how Qui-Gon questioned a lot of stuff that the Jedi were doing and the Senate was doing. And Padme always talks about there's only one Jedi that she calls a friend. And it's not Obi-Wan, it's not Anakin. She always refers to her only Jedi friend as Qui-Gon. And it's really talking about how she mourns his death and she wishes he was here. And they really go into Qui-Gon a lot, which I liked about that novel. But yeah, when we get Master and Apprentice, I have a feeling, Nick, they're going to go deep into how much Qui-Gon rebels against that Jedi Council.
I really can't wait, dude. Like, I'm so disappointed that we're not going to get a Qui-Gon movie or an Obi-Wan movie. That makes me so sad.
Well, they're doing an Obi-Wan show, so it's going to be a limited series on Disney Plus. I'm willing to bet that Qui-Gon's going to show up in it, because in the one novel, from a certain point of view, Qui-Gon shows up as a Force ghost to Obi-Wan. So I think that will happen in the series. So, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, I want to see something more with Qui-Gon. I think Liam Neeson's in the perfect age where he can come back and he won't look too old. So I definitely want to see more of that. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up, man. My head is starting to kill me, and I got to go pick up Autumn here in a few minutes.
All right, then. Been fun.
Yep. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for joining the stream, Nick. Thanks, everybody, for their super chats and the questions. Not a big crowd today, but it's Sunday. A lot of people are probably out doing stuff. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much. Until next time, as always, Robert Storm. That's my opinion.